Okay, so I hope you all are doing well. I am Divya Sharma and I'll be your coordinator with Google Gemini and Google Workspace. Before we begin, I would like to take a moment to introduce Skynetiks Technologies. Skynetiks Technologies is a leading IT solutions and cloud services company helping businesses embrace smarter collaboration, digital transformation, and productivity driven solutions. With over 23 plus years of industry experience and a strong client base, 5,000 plus customers across various industries, Skynetics has built a reputation for delivering reliable, innovative, and scalable technology solutions. As a trusted partner of global technology leaders like Google Cloud, Zoho, and Microsoft, Skynetics specializes in empowering organizations with cloud collaboration tools, enterprise productivity solutions, business automation, and modern workplace. Our mission is to help businesses simplify operations, enhance teamwork, and improve productivity through the power of cloud and AI driven innovation. And for today, we are here to explore one of the most exciting innovations integrated directly into the tools we already use every day, Google Gemini inside Google Workspace, and how we can work smarter using that. Now, before we dive deeper into the session, I'm going to present a short video that has completely been created using Gemini. So, let me introduce you to my AI colleagues.
On behalf of Skynetiks Technologies, I would like to warmly welcome all of you to today's webinar. We're excited to have you join us as we explore how Google Workspace, combined with the power of Gemini AI, is transforming the way modern businesses collaborate, communicate, and improve productivity.
In today's fast-paced digital environment, organizations are constantly looking for smarter ways to work, whether it's automating routine tasks, enhancing team collaboration, generating insights faster, or improving decision-making. With Gemini integrated into Google Workspace applications like Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Meet, and Drive, businesses can unlock a whole new level of efficiency and innovation.
During this session, our team will demonstrate how Gemini enhances everyday workflows, real-world business use cases, productivity and collaboration advantages.
Whether you are exploring AI for the first time or looking to maximize your existing Google Workspace investment, today's session will give you practical insights into how these technologies can help your organization work smarter and faster. Thank you once again for joining us today. We hope you find this session informative, engaging, and valuable. Let's get started.
Wasn't that amazing? What you just saw was created with the power of Gemini integrated into Google Workspace, showcasing us how AI can help us create, collaborate, communicate, and innovate smarter than ever before. And in today's session, we'll also explore how a video like this can be created, along with several other powerful Gemini features that can transform the way we work every day. So, without further ado, I would now like to hand over the session to our senior, Mr. Raman sir, who will guide us through this exciting journey of working smarter with Google Gemini in Google Workspace. Over to you, Raman sir.
Thanks, Divya. Hello, everyone. I'll be the presenter for this session, and thank you for joining again. It was a great video that my team had created. It was just to give you a brief about how powerful Gemini is. And without procuring any extra tools, you're not adding any extra tools. It is already something that we are already using, right? So that's quite amazing, right? So I'll just quickly share my screen and get started with the session. So today's session is not about adding one more tool, as I already mentioned, right? This is about elevating your existing workspace. Google Gemini has been included inside Google Workspace quite recently, right? It has been 2-3 years since this Gemini tool has taken up pace, right? And still, I feel that most of our users are not aware of its full capabilities. So this session will primarily focus towards Gemini, right? And why has Google shifted its strategy from normal uh, email solution to a full workspace solution? So why this strategic shift? So we already are aware of a lot of AI tools such as ChatGPT, Claude, right? So what is missing inside those tools? Uh, right now, we what we really need is contextual intelligence. Imagine having an assistant who is aware of all the documents that you have created, your emails that you have sent or received, right? All the meetings that you have attended, right, with your clients, with your team. So having that knowledge is quite something. So that's why contextual intelligence is something that will differentiate a normal chat GPT with Gemini, because Gemini is currently integrated inside your Google Workspace environment. And the beauty of it is that your data stays within your organization. Google will never use your personal data of your personal emails, the documents that you create, the meetings that you hold. This data will never be used to train its public models. And the beauty of all of it is that we don't have to learn a new tool to use AI. We are using tools which are already we are using, like Docs, Sheets, Gmail, right? And everything is quite seamlessly integrated inside that. So, what impact has AI made? Specifically, if I'm talking about Gemini, so Google has conducted a lot of case studies, specifically in 128 companies which are using Google Workspace. So there are three of examples of such companies who have been using Gemini, and how they have been. What are the metrics that they have come across? Right? So Mercer is a company which has achieved around $3 million in projected savings just by using Google Vids. It's the same software that we had created, using which we had created the introduction video. So they used to create videos for training for its internal team members, training for its clients, and they used to spend a lot of amount on these training guides. So with this Google Vids, they were able to cut down this projected spending by 75%. The second example here that I had taken is Adore Me. Adore Me is a fashion brand which comes under Victoria's Secret, and with this uh, Gemini integration, they were able to save around 30 plus hours of manual work to and reduce it to only 30 minutes, right? And a third example is for a company called DocuSign. I think most of us are aware that what DocuSign does. It's a e-document signing application, right? And they ran a pilot inside their organization. So what they did was they provided Gemini to a bunch of their employees. And after the outcome, they noticed that 67% of the employees gained 1 to 4 hours of productivity weekly. So I think that's a huge number, because essentially time is money. Time saved is equivalent to money, and I'll just show you how what is the amount of time per employee which uses AI can save, right? So as per the aggregate of the time saved for all of these case studies is around 2.5 hours per week, right? So if I have 2.5 hours per week, so annually per employee will save around 130 plus hours, right? And let's say if you are uh, spending 500 rupees per resource per hour, right? So that's around 65,000 rupees saved per year on an employee, right? Because essentially they are saving their own time, and they'll be spending that time into more productive things, right? And for a team of 50 employees, this figure comes out to around 32 lakhs 50,000 rupees. So this is a huge amount of saving for any Indian organization, right? And I think this figure justifies what cost we have to pay for Gemini. There's a serious gap which is there between the starter and the standard plans, because starter just gives you a taste of what Gemini can do, but standard is the whole story, right? So some of the features we have listed here that lacks in the business starter tier, right? So recently, Gemini has integrated all of the Gemini features inside its same applications. Like there's Drive, there's Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Vids, right? So Gemini is now directly integrated into all of these applications. But in Business Starter, you will not find these integrations. And I think if I leave AI aside for a minute, I think meeting recordings is such an essential feature these days, which is lacking in Business Starter tiers. Because recently, I think we know that the nation is in crunch of resources, right? And if this situation keeps moving forward like this, then probably government might enforce work from home for a lot of industries. So just imagine what uh, will happen if meeting recordings of such feature is not available inside your workspace. Apart from that, let's say a new employee joins your organization. So instead of giving them the entire training, you can just give them some meeting recordings, which can be meetings with your clients, previous team meetings, so that they can get a better understanding of how to get onboarded with your organization and teams. So I feel a meeting recording is a very, very essential feature which is missed in Business Starter. And of course, we will discuss all of the features that we are going to discuss today will be presented in business standard license, and we'll be deep diving into around 7 applications of Gemini today. So moving forward, here is a cost benefit analysis with ChatGPT Business. So business standard is around 1,000 rupees per month. I think it's around that figure. And ChatGPT Business is around 1,800 rupees per month. Now, considering this, we also need to understand that we get 2 TB additional space in business standard, right? So this makes it a no-brainer deal for getting us business standard, right? Because what is essentially to achieve contextual artificial intelligence, you need to have AI integrated inside your workspace. So, and there's a huge difference between composing an email inside Gemini, and which is present inside your Google Workspace environment, and copying the text of the email and pasting it on ChatGPT and getting a response from there. There's a huge difference in that. So I think a solution which is integrated inside your existing workspace goes way ahead of any other solution, any other AI solution which is available there in the market. So moving forward, I will just quickly deep dive into some of the uh, applications of AI, which I'll be starting with the Google Slides itself. So the entire presentation which I'm presenting right now is also made with AI. So let's say the figure that I told you, that we are saving around 130 hours per week per employee, right? So there are multiple ways of depicting this information on a slide. If I want, I can spend around 2-3 hours in coming up with the best way of displaying that information on the slide, right? But I don't have to do that if I have Gemini by my side. So what I can do is I can quickly click on this enhance this slide button, and I can send it. So Gemini will analyze what data is present and what is the theme of my presentation. And based on that, it will generate a response which depicts this information in the best way forward. All right. So this has generated this uh, beautiful graphics. It has already presented it with, right? So it has correctly mentioned whatever data I had provided to the in the slides. So 50 team members, around 130 hours of weekly savings, with each member spending around the cost of the member is 550 hours per hour, right? So that means that by reclaiming 130 hours at 550 rupees, it uh, boils down to a huge saving for the entire organization, right? So we'll be moving forward with this presentation, and we'll start with Google Meet, which is the same platform that we are using for taking this session. Now, Gemini, how it enhances Google Meet. So you will notice that we have something called uh, note taker in this. And here you can see that Gemini is taking notes, right? So after every meeting, Gemini will create some notes and send it to every participant which is involved in this meeting. So we don't have to take notes or wait for viewing the meeting again and again, right? We can just quickly refer to the notes, and we can identify that what was the context of the meeting, what was spoken in that meeting, any kind of data that was shared, right? And this is very, very helpful for teams which are working remotely and which need to save time. I think this is a really great feature. And we have AI transcripts as well. So whatever I'm speaking right now, you will be able to see all the captions and AI transcripts in real time to the so that we can assert the document to the every detail, right? Now we have live translation as well inside Google Meet, right? That's right. We can create live translation, and how we can do that, I'll just quickly show you. So here we have speech translation capability. It is right now in beta testing mode, right? So we can, if we have any clients which are foreigners, which are Spanish speaking, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, we can have meetings with them, and Gemini, it will translate whatever I am speaking in real time, right? So let's say if I select Spanish here and I enable the translation for everyone. So right now you'll be able to see an option like this, where you can select the language you speak, right, and the language you prefer to hear. So if you change this to any other thing than English, right? Let's say if you change this to Spanish, then whatever am I speaking right now, it will you will hear it in Spanish. And definitely you can try it right now, and probably after this meeting as well. So it's a really good feature once for people who are having clients in the EU region, because EU is quite diverse, right? And I hope we'll be getting this for Indian languages as well. So a really great feature for people who have foreign clients. For the timing, I'll turn off this translation. Moving on, this was about Google Meet, right? We'll come to the Gmail and Drive AI assistant. I think Gmail, pretty much everyone is aware that how a Gemini in Gmail helps us. So it helps us by generating replies. I can reply to this any email that I receive, and I have this help me write feature, which I can give a prompt to Gemini, and it will create a response for me. So I'll just quickly write that, please ask for more details. And it will analyze what the query is, and it will generate a reply for me, and I can insert it and I can send it, right? So very, very handy and saves quite a lot of time, right? Because I can understand that what is the context from a bird's eye view, but what are the nitty-gritties of this, Gemini will figure that out by itself. And we have this Gemini button here as well. For example, if you have a lot of emails, your inbox is cluttered, right? You can directly ask Gemini that what are the emails that require immediate reply. So Gemini, what it will do is that it will scan all the emails, and it will show you that, okay, this email requires an immediate reply and it requires your immediate attention, right? And it comes with a reference link as well. So it shows me that which email requires an immediate reply. I can click on that email, I will be redirected to that email, and I can reply to that. And it will also give me a brief about what is being asked in that email. Very, very handy feature inside Gmail. And I think most of the people are aware, right? But we thought definitely we should touch on that. Now, how Gemini elevates Drive, right? We can come to this Drive section, right? And then we again can click on this Gemini button, and we can directly reference any files that we have saved in our Drive section. So if I want to select any file here, so it will pick up all the content of that file and answer whatever I want to understand from that file, right? So I'll just quickly reference this file. So this file contains data of some sort. This is an Excel sheet, right? And I have not opened this file right now, so I can just quickly ask, what is this file about, and give me a brief insight on the data present in it. So it will quickly analyze, it will read the file because it already has access to the file, right? So now it is showing me that this is a Google Workspace export user data, and it has 372 users, and all the information, detailed insights about this file, right? So I require very little time to just go there, open the file, and understand what is actually inside that, right? So I can literally talk to my files, right? And I can also export it to docs. Let's say if you want to understand what the file is, you want to make a proposal out of a particular file, you can just quickly ask that, okay, Gemini, please create a proposal for the client based on these files, and it will create a proposal like this, and then you can export it to docs. So quite handy, very, very easy. And of course, you have to read that proposal. You can't share the proposal with the client without reading it, but definitely saves a lot of time. Now moving on, we have Gemini Inside Sheets. So right now I referenced a sheet using Drive, the Gemini present inside Drive. But of course, I can always go inside the Excel, inside the Google Sheets, and reference any data that I want. So if I come here again, and I want to analyze, this is a migration, this is a sample migration file that I had created. So it consists of around 372 users, and it consists of all the data usage of each user. So it has shown that, okay, the user one is using 0.0 GB, user two is using 5.42 GB. So, and it's a huge file, right? I will have to spend a lot of time in analyzing that which user is using how many GB of data and what kind of effort I have to put in to migrate this particular user, right? So I can just quickly go to Gemini and ask it to analyze the file. And I have two ways of doing that. I can quickly go to and click this Ask Gemini button, and I have this Gemini in the toolbar as well. I can simply click on this button, and it will analyze all the data which is present inside this Excel sheet. And it will also ask me it some contextual questions. Sometimes it asks, sometimes it does not, depending on the data. And we have a lot of other features as well here, like analyze data. I can generate charts from that data, generate pivot tables, right? Generate an image out of the data which is present, right? Summarize the text, and a lot of things. And of course, I can ask Gemini questions about the data as well. So I'll just quickly let Gemini analyze this current data. And yeah, it has generated a lot of charts for me by default, right? And it has, of course, analyzed the data in depth. So top 10 users by storage, right? It has identified that user 306 has the most usage across the bunch. And what I can do is I can add this to my Excel sheet. I can simply click on insert, and it will be added to my Excel sheet. Again, I can insert this pie chart as well. So it really helps me to generate these charts without having to clean the data first, right? Because currently this data is not cleaned. So right now the format of the cell is something of similar to date time, which is not supported in Excel by default, right? And this column also consists some text, right? So first of all, to generate such charts or to filter out this data, I'll have to clean this data a lot, and this as well. So I need the size of the mailbox in numbers in decimal points, but because of the GB present in the cell is as well, so it will be considered as text. So first of all, I have to remove everything. We have to clean the data for the processing to be done. So with help of Gemini, I don't have to do any of that, right? And this is how Gemini helps to create, useful uh, charts out of the data which is present inside the sheets. So of course, if I had to do it, I would have to, spend around 2 to 3 hours in analyzing this data. But of course, with the help of Gemini, I did it in probably less than 5 minutes. Now we'll go towards docs. Right. So Docs is something that is, I think, the most widely used application inside the Google Workspace suite. And for Docs, I have this short read, which is artificial intelligence and school education. So I just have taken this document so that I can present how Gemini performs with and what is the integration with the Docs. And what this document talks about is application of artificial intelligence in schools. This is a study which was done in Australia, and it's a good big study, right? Around 9 pages, and the text is quite small, so a lot of text inside that. But what I can do, I don't have to read it entirely, right? I can just quickly ask Gemini to provide me a summary of the document. Okay, let me see if I'm presenting my audio. Okay. So I can quickly listen to the document summary. It will generate a summary and it will narrate it to me. and I hope you will also be able to listen to this.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is an umbrella term for a
Yes.
machine or computer program using human-like thinking to complete tasks. Current AI is classified as narrow AI, which can outperform humans in specific, focused tasks, but has not yet mastered developmental milestones of a 4-year-old human. A common misconception is that AI is synonymous with robots. However, most AI tools are not embodied in robots. Machine learning, a subfield of AI, uses real-world data to allow computers to learn autonomously over time, offering powerful ways to detect patterns in big data. Concerns around machine learning include its reliance on big data collected without consent, the potential for biased datasets to lead to discriminatory decisions, and the black box nature of deep machine learning, which makes it difficult to understand how and why an AI makes decisions. This lack of explainability poses an ethical concern in education. The specialized field of AI in education.
So I'll stop it right there. I don't want to spend time in listening to entirety of it, but ultimately, Gemini has provided me a crux of this document, right? And I don't have to spend a lot of time inside into reading this document. Of course, it has provided me a summary in under around 2 minutes, right? So very handy feature, right? And I can totally reference if I have less time in reading such documents, right? If I have a meeting which is based on this document, which requires this document as a prerequisite, I can just quickly go to Gemini and tell it that, okay, I just want to hear about what this document has to talk about, and I can quickly jump into that call and handle that in a very swift manner. Of course, this is not the only application that Gemini has inside Docs. Using Gemini, we can also listen to this tab in the entirety. If you want to listen to this document word by word, we can also do that. And we can also add some text uh, based on whatever is written already, right? So if I want to add, let's say this document talks about the application of AI inside schools. So how Google Workspace can help schools. So I want to add a paragraph on that. So I can tell Gemini and it will read, of course, very basic use case, right? Uh, add a paragraph. Of course, you can see it highlighting my drives and mail but icons here because it is analyzing the context which I refer, right? It will search inside my emails that, okay, what am I referring to? Search inside my drive. If Gemini can find any supporting document, if I might have something related to, Google Workspace. So it will give priority to that instead of searching a random thing from the internet and putting it inside my document. It will not do that. So that's why this gives Gemini an edge over the normal chat GPT that we use in day to day. So, of course, it has added some contextual based paragraph, which I told Gemini to do, and I can accept it, right? And I don't need to go and research that. Okay, how Google Workspace? What are the applications in which Gemini can fit inside a school, right? It has already done it for me, right? So again, works like a breeze, right? And yeah. So I can compose, rewrite, edit documents inside Google Docs, and with the help of Gemini, it is very easy. And maybe this is the most used feature in our organization as well. My team is saving around 2 to 3 hours in generating such documents because ultimately we are in the software business and we have to provide a lot of proposals to our clients. So we use Gemini in our day-to-day activities and helps us a lot in that matter. Now I'll come to two main applications inside Google Workspace that I like very much. So this is the widgets which generated the video that we had shown you earlier. So inside this, this is how we had generated this video. And this is an avatar. An avatar, you can select what avatar you want, and you can provide text that you want the avatar to speak. You can provide them a script, and this you can change the avatar, which avatar would you like to see in your video. I can provide a text to be converted into an avatar video, and I can select the type of avatar that I
The
want.
printer just hummed a happy little tune.
My pen is fully charged and ready to draft a project plan so brilliant, it might actually organize itself.
Yes. So
The-
we can create a
This
lot
sweater
of
is
avatars. We can have human avatars, cartoon avatars, right? We can also create custom avatars based on a description that we give, right? And yeah, it's very, very easy to create this, and we can provide a script and generate these kind of videos. And we can also create voiceovers. So this was an avatar and this is a voiceover. Voiceover means that the video is playing and there's no one speaking. Actually, only the narration is happening, right? So I will provide narration voiceover. I'll go to voiceover and provide whatever stuff I want the narrator to narrate, and I can select the voice that I want to choose. So I can choose from a bunch of voices, whatever you like. You can select it and click on select and update, generate voiceover. It will generate the voiceover, and you can create these kind of videos. And it's very, very easy, and it is specifically useful for generating training material or demo videos. Really, really handy in doing that because saves a lot of time. This entire video that you just saw, you can create such a video in under 10 minutes. And we have a lot of videos, video creating tools here in Google Vids, right? And I had created one more video here, which is teacher who is explaining to his students that how Gemini is so amazing, right?
Look at this. Can you
All right. I'll just quickly replay this.
look at this? Can you believe what Gemini AI can do these days? It's actually amazing.
I know it looks a little bit too much of AI, but of course we can generate a lot of these type of videos using Google Vids, right? And we have a lot of templates as well inside Google Vids, so you can create such videos as well, right? If you want to provide any kind of testimonial videos, we can do that using this. So it's an equivalent to Canva, right? And of course, Canva has a lot of more advanced features, but more or less all the main features you will find here. So you don't have to pay extra in getting subscription for any other kind of tools, right? So that's really helpful, and we also use Google Vids a lot these days. And there's this last tool, which is actually an excellent automation tool, which is recently included inside Google Workspace, which is the Workspace Studio. So Workspace Studio enables us to write automation workflows. An automation workflow is something, or let's say you want Gemini to analyze the incoming emails. Now, incoming emails could be of any sort. Let's say, for example, your sales team is getting a lot of leads on emails, right? So what you can do is you can create a workflow that if Gemini thinks that this email that we have received is from a lead, is a qualified lead, you can mark it as lead and put a label on that and notify it on the sales group channel, right? So we can do a lot of these kind of workflows. Another another use case that I'm able to think on top of my head is, let's say if you are an HR manager, right, and you are getting a lot of applications on email. So depending on, of course, Gemini can go inside PDF, let's say the resume of the applicant, and it can analyze the content inside the PDF, and based on whatever parameters that you have set, can segregate that email. So I'll just quickly uh, show you one of my existing flows. So this is a flow in which I'm triaging inquiries which I receive on email, right? So whenever I receive an email, I can select, do I want to run this workflow for all emails or specific emails? Of course, specific emails will provide me with a bunch of filters because we get a limited number of workflow executions in our tiers, right? So it is highly recommended that you use specific emails, but currently I'm using all emails. And then we can put a action here, which will let Gemini decide what I want to actually, tell Gemini to do, what I will tell Gemini to do. So you can provide a prompt here. It's taking some time to load. So essentially, I can tell what Gemini has to do here, what it has to decide. So here I can put, does this email content hints that this is a lead for Google products, right? So I can put my email subject here and email body here. I can add a variable there. So it will run on any email received, and I can reference any information from inside that email. Let's say email subject, email body, email date, time, right? Gmail categories, CC, BCC recipients, right? And the email attachment, file name, file types. So I can always reference a bunch of information from the email that I've received, and I want to check if this statement is true according to Gemini. So essentially, Gemini will tell me, is this a lead, qualified lead for Google products or not? So next step, I have created a decision. If the decision is true, then I want to add a label as Google lead. So I can create a new label, and I can assign a pre-created label as well. And on the next step, if this step fails, right, I can also tell Gemini to again decipher if it is a Zoho product lead. So I can put a label suggesting that this is lead for Zoho product. And I can test run this workflow now. So I can select a previously received email. Okay. Migration user data. I can put start. I can start this workflow, and now it is working, and it will identify that this an email for is this a qualified lead or not. So currently, this is a migration to Gemini responded to this as false, so it will not assign that label. And for this, Gemini responded the prompt as true. Decisions were met. So this email was labeled as Zoho lead. And now I can go to my Google Workspace, Gmail, and I can see that this email was marked under Zoho leads label. So this is a very important and very handy and smart feature that lets us to create workflows inside Google Workspace Studio, and you can get very crafty with it. Right, and depending on your business use cases, you can save a lot of time if you are receiving a lot of emails, right? And you have to sit down around spend 1-2 hours in segregating each of your emails and understanding that what's happening, right? So this can help you identifying those and categorizing those as separately, right? So you can go there and understand that, okay, this is something that requires my immediate attention, and you can go there. So these are all the applications that I wanted to touch upon because these applications tell the essence of what Gemini has to offer inside Google Workspace, right? So uh, I think Gemini has some great updates which are upcoming, right? And something we really need to look forward. And that's all for today's webinar. And I would like to take some questions and leave you with a thought that what you can do to identify AI opportunities inside your business. So any kind of repetitive tasks, any kind of time consuming task, any kind of resource heavy tasks, if you can identify within your business and probably discuss with your team that can we automate this, and of course you can also reach out to our support team, and we can identify these AI opportunities and optimize your entire workspace. Right? That would be really helpful towards your organization and how your organization embraces AI.